Dear viewers, my teacher colleagues and all dear students, you all know me. I am Dr. P.K. Verma. In continuation with discussion on animal kingdom, today I shall discuss arthropoda. You all know that arthropoda is the largest phylum that comprises almost 60% or more living animals and fossil animals as well. It is a highly diversified group and therefore there are a number of classes, also organism microscopic to the large one. So it will need a long session for the proper discussion. I am trying to do my best. All important facts would be discussed here. Please be attentive and listen carefully. As I have told, it is largest phylum in which more than 50% species ever formed on earth are present. Because it is present everywhere on earth, it is described even in the ancient literatures, and Aristotle, almost 3000 years earlier, described them in the name of arthropoda. He meant jointed legs. Those animals having jointed legs were called arthropoda. He used also the names like insects or hexapoda and coleoptera. These are triploblastic animals with bilateral symmetry. However, the body is dorsoventrally compressed in many of the cases. The epidermis secretes a chitinous exoskeleton, generally separate from one segment to another and attached to the body wall by a thin articular membrane. When Annelida evolved into arthropoda, that is on the land, it evolved an adaptation to resist the dryness of the environment, to protect the soft skin or tegument. It had to evolve exoskeleton. So in this case there is chitinous exoskeleton. Except the head, in other parts, in each segment a separate skeletal plate is secreted, but in the head all segments become fused to form one composite segment. In different appendages such as legs, antenna, antennule, etc., joints are seen from the very outside. The definition says that the animals have jointed legs, but the fact is that every appendage is jointed. Appendages are the structures attached on the surface of body. So even the antenna and antennules have joints. Most of the arthropods, head, thorax and abdomen are differentiated, and there is a short neck between head and thorax. Neck is not a segment, it is just a joint between head and thorax. segmentation or metamerism is well developed in both larvae and adults, but unlike annelids, the septa are not found in the body cavity. Segmentation at first developed in Annelida, and in that case, external and internal both divisions are there. The body cavity is divided into a number of parts by presence of porous septa, but such septa are absent in case of arthropoda. So entire coelom becomes one. The muscles of body develop in separate blocks, and generally these are all striped muscles, though some are involuntary muscles. It is anatomical details that they have striped muscles, not smooth muscles. Normally in our cases, striped muscles are voluntary muscles, but in this case, some of the striped muscles are involuntary. The coelom does not enter into appendage. It is an important change. In Annelida, particularly in Polychaeta, the parapodia were developed and coelom was continued inside the parapodia. But in this case, appendages are solid structures not continued with the coelom. Cilia and flagella are completely lacking in this phylum. That is, no member of phylum Arthropoda has either cilia or flagella. Therefore, even the sperms are tailless. Sperms have tail in most of the animals, and those tails are made of flagella. But because flagella is not formed in this case, so the sperms are tailless, generally oval in structure or spherical in structure. The true coelom that was developed in the name of schizocoelom. What happened with the schizocoelom? The true coelom became degenerated due to absence of epithelial lining except in the surface of heart, genital duct, excretory duct. So the body fluid and tissue fluid cannot be separated. Such coelom is called hemocoel. So it is degenerated type of coelom. It was true, but the epithelial lining is lost, so it became degenerated type of coelom. Now it is called hemocoel because the blood and tissue fluid cannot be separated. The body fluid contains both components of blood and tissue fluid. The blood vessels are absent except the heart, and the only closed tubular structure for circulation is its heart. Such a circulatory system is known as open circulatory system. That is, in place of circulating through the blood vessels, the circulating fluid openly circulates through the body cavity or coelom. There is a single circulating fluid known as hemolymph. Lymph is colorless and it serves as blood in this case, so it is called hemolymph. It is colorless, without hemoglobin, so it cannot carry oxygen. The respiratory system contains gills, book lungs and spiracles for taking air, and the air is directly carried to different tissues by air tubes known as trachea and tracheoles. Because blood cannot carry oxygen, but the body is becoming larger, so it needs supply of oxygen directly to the tissue. Therefore, for the supply of oxygen, they have developed trachea and tracheoles. Now, from the surface, the aquatic animals get oxygen through gills and book lungs, and the terrestrial animals get oxygen through the spiracles. For excretion, they have green glands, coxal glands, or the Malpighian tubules, but not the nephridia. Loss of nephridia is another important change. They have evolved a separate system comprising Malpighian tubules. In some complex animals, such as crustaceans, green glands and coxal glands are found. These are unisexual animals with sexual dimorphism. Sexual reproduction is the only known mechanism, though sometimes parthenogenesis occurs. For example, the male honeybee or the drones are formed by this way. And all female bees develop from fertilized eggs. Whether it is the queen bee or the worker bee, they develop by normal reproduction, normal sexual reproduction after fertilization. But if the eggs are not fertilized, they also will develop into embryo and a child, forming the males or the drones. Now see the classification. Being the largest phylum and animals living in all types of environment, a great diversity is seen in these animals. Therefore, its classification also is complex. It is divided into as many as 7 subphyla. See this table. Onychophyra. Onychophora is a connecting link sharing most characters of the Annelida, but few advancement towards Arthropoda. There are 3 odd types of subphyla: Tardigrada, Pentastomida, Trilobitomorpha. This Trilobitomorpha is completely extinct. Cheliceratta, Medeostoma and Arachnida. Pentapoda or Pycnogonidae. It has no separate class, and the major is the Mandibulata, in which there are 3 classes: Crustacea, Myriapoda and Insecta. So in totality, Onychophora being connecting link is important. Otherwise, the common arthropods comprise Arachnida, Crustacea, Myriapoda and Insecta. But in this lecture, I shall discuss in brief about all of them. The first subphylum is Onychophora. It contains many Annelida-like characters, such as presence of septa in the body cavity, coelom entering into legs, and presence of nephridia. These 3 are the Annelidan characters. But the chitin has developed, and on the legs some joints and claws are seen, which are also chitinous structures. So these are arthropodan characters. The only living example is Peripatus, that is considered as connecting link between Annelida and Arthropoda. It has a very discontinuous distribution. It is found in different parts of the continent and subcontinents, but there is no continuation of the distribution of Peripatus. Now see how it looks. It looks like a worm, and you can see that it has a number of appendages, the legs. If you will observe these legs, here you can see 2 white structures are the claws, and superficially there are rings of chitinous plates forming joint-like structure. Subphylum Tardigrada. These are minute worm-like animals found in water in which the somites or the segments are hardly seen. You can become confused that it has no segmentation. In their mouth, pairs of stylets, and in the body, 4 pairs of stumpy legs are seen. The example is Macrobiotus. It is commonly called water bears because of the structure of its mouth. See how its mouth looks. It looks like a ferocious animal, and it is moving just like a bear but in the water. Third subphylum is Pentastomida. These are another worm-like animals found in water. Respiration and excretion takes place through general body surface, and circulatory system is absent. In their mouth, protrusible hooks are present that help in feeding. One common animal is Linguatula, that is tongue worm. It exactly looks like a tongue and very soft like the Annelida. See how unique structure it has. Its anterior part is blunt with lesser diameter, and posterior part have intestine. A very long coiled intestine can be seen from outside, but internally you can see there are joints in the somites. So it is Linguatula or the tongue worm found in the dogs. Fourth subphylum is Trilobitomorpha. They had hard chitinous shell. They lived before Cambrian period, but unfortunately all became extinct. But because of the hard body surface, large number of fossils are found almost in every coastal country. The head contained a pair of antennae. You can see some of the fossil diagrams. These are the real fossils. It has become black. It depends on the nature of the minerals present there. Perhaps the mineral iron has the larger proportion in this case. It is artistic diagram drawn from the figure of the fossils. Now see how the fossils are formed on the surface of rocks. So these are the imprints. Now subphylum Chelicerata. In this animal, head and thorax become fused to form cephalothorax or a prosoma, whereas the abdomen is called opisthothoma. So it is the identification that head and thorax are fused. It means there would be no neck, and a single dorsal plate covers the entire cephalothorax. This cover plate is known as carapace. The real antenna and jaw are absent, but a pair of preoral ciliate legs is formed. Ciliate legs, forceps-like legs. You are well acquainted with such animals. The cephalothorax contains 6 pairs of appendages. For respiration, they have gills, book lungs or trachea depending on habitat. There are two classes in this subphylum. These are Meroestoma, exemplified by Limulus. It is king crab or the largest arthropoda. See the outline of the king crab. Its size weighs more than 4 kg sometimes. Class Arachnida. These are represented by spiders and the scorpions. These two animals also have ciliate legs. There are many species of genus of spiders: Pachyomerus, the trapdoor spiders; Agelena, funnel web spiders; Lycos, wolf spider; Tarantula, hairy spiders; and Salticus, the jumping spiders. These jumping spiders are found in our household also. And the second one is scorpions, Buthus and Palemnius, etc. Now see, it is the hairy spider, Tarantula. Sometimes it becomes very big. The smaller spider is not the offspring, it is the male spider that has size very smaller than the female. And now see, this is the scorpion Buthus. You are well acquainted with spiders and scorpions. Now subphylum Pentopoda or Pycnogonidia. These are small marine animals in which head and thorax are prominent, but abdomen is vestigial. They have 4 to 6 pairs of walking legs and a pair of ovigerous legs. In addition, they have a pair of chelicera, that is ciliate leg-like structures, and a pair of palps. They have a pair of compound eyes. Mouth has a very long proboscis. Sea spiders, Nymphon, and the Pycnogonum are important examples. See the photograph of a sea spider. It looks just like a spider. Now the last subphylum is Mandibulata. They have all mandible in their mouth to cut and crush the food materials. This subphylum contains the majority of arthropoda present this time. They have a pair of mandibles in their mouth for cutting, crushing or chewing the food. Or sometimes these mandibles are modified to form the proboscis, such as in the mosquitoes. This subphylum contains following classes: Crustacea, a large class; Myriapoda, a very small class; and Insecta, again a very large class. You can say that Insecta class is the largest class in the animal kingdom. Next one is the Pisces. So at first, know about crustaceans. The head is reduced, but thorax is large, and these two parts fuse together to form cephalothorax. It is covered by a thick chitinous carapace, which has high amount of calcium salt also. The head has 2 pairs of antennae and 3 pairs of jaw. Cephalothorax is characteristic of 2 different classes in arthropoda. So consider the second character, Head has 2 pairs of antenna and 3 pairs of jaw. Green glands are found for excretion. Daphnia, it is water-free, microscopic. Cypress, it is a larval structure. Cyclope also is larval structure. All these three are the microscopic, found in water. Lepus and Balanus, these are highly modified, found in sea, and normally found attached on the body surface of some snail's shell, mollusk shell, or even on the surface of boards. Saculina, it is a parasitic crustacean found over the body of crab. In honors, its life cycle is studied. Mysis, a small larval structure. Esquila, it is a larger crustacean. Prawn, shrimps, lobster, crayfish, cancer crab, and hermit crab. Now see, it is Daphnia, very, very common in the ponds and lakes, and quite microscopic. It is favorite food of Hydra. Now see, it is Balanus. It looks like a mollusca and the shape is pyramidal. But mind it, it is just a cover of the body. The upper part is open part through which it projects out its fine antennules to catch the prey. It is again another form known as lepus. In bunch, it is found on the surface of mollusk shell. One lepus is separately shown here. It has a number of cirripedes. The thread-like appendages arising around the mouth to catch the prey. You are familiar with it. It is prawn, the freshwater prawn that forms a delicious food. And another one is the lobster. It is marine and it also forms a delicious food. Now see the crab. It is a common crab, but here is the hermit crab. It lives inside the dead shells of mollusks. So it is shell of a mollusk inside which the crab is hiding itself like a hermit or saint living in a cave. Class Myriapoda, you are familiar with it. These are the first fully terrestrial animal. It is an important point. No example of Myriapoda is found in water. It is fully terrestrial animal. They have a neck, they have a head, neck and abdomen. That is, thorax is absent. It is second point, second important exceptional point of Myriapoda. Their head bear a pair of antennae and 3 pairs of jaw. Most of the body segments bear paired legs, 1 or 2 pairs of legs. So on the basis of legs they have been identified. The millipedes or Zulus contain 2 pair of minute legs, that is measured in terms of millimeters, whereas the centipedes, Scolopendra, contain only 1 pair larger legs measured in centimeters. Scutigera contains 6 to 7 pairs of very, very large legs. These are dangerous animals, highly allergic in nature. All the 3 members are allergic. This is the millipede. When you will touch it, it will form a coil like this. You know it. Perhaps in your childhood, you have played with such worm-like arthropods. And this is centipede. It is also generally killed by you whenever seen in your household. Some centipedes are very, very dangerous. Their stings are at their posterior part The sting is poisonous. This is Scutigera, very highly dangerous arthropoda found in bushes and grasslands. Now the class Insecta. This class Insecta is largest among all classes in animal kingdom. Hence it is taught separately in zoology in the name of entomology. Entomology is the science of study of insects. These are found in water as well as on land. Some of them can even fly in air. They have 3 pairs of thoracic legs. It is identification. Hence also called hexapoda, having the 6 legs. There are 2 subclasses in this class. One is Aterygota. The pterygium or the wings are never formed, never appeared in the life cycle. Their life cycle is incomplete, that is, they have nymph or miniature insect, but there is no larva-like structure. So they have gradual metamorphosis into adult. The common examples are silverfish and springtail. Silverfish is called Lepisma, and springtail has many species under a genus Collembola. You are familiar with silverfish. It is not a fish, but it looks like the fish made of silver, at least in North Indian parts, that is given in case of Tilak Mahotsav of marriages. This is Lepisma. When you will clean your almirah, your cupboards, the kitchen and storerooms, you will find tiny animals, moves very fast, but it is very delicate. When you will touch it, it will die. It is one of the species of springtail. Near its tail, there is a long hook-like structure through which it can jump over the surface. This hook is used as a spring. Second subclass is Pterygota, that is, the wings appear at any stage of life cycle. It may be permanent or temporary, and even sometimes vestigial. On the basis of origin, it is divided into 2 subclass or superorders known as Exopterygota and Endopterygota. In Exopterygota, the insects have been externally developed on the body surface, so it can be removed easily without any major damage to the body. It is vestigial in Blatta orientalis, a black cockroach of oriental region that is found in our houses also. In their life cycles, either larva or pupa stage is absent, and the life cycle is incomplete or hemimetabolous. The common examples are cockroach, grasshoppers, cricket, locust, mole cricket, stick insect, scale insects, leaf insects, mantis, praying mantis, earwig, termites, ants and white ants. Even the human body lice and bedbug, aphids, etc. are exopterygotes. Now see what dangerous structure the lice has. Its claws are just like hooks. It is holding 2 hairs in 2 sides and moving across the 2 other hairs in the middle. You might not have thought about this dangerous structure of the lice. These are the three forms of lice: head louse, body louse, and the crab louse. This crab louse is commonly called chiller. Now, the upper photograph is Gryotalpa, highly allergic insect, and lower is the Forficula. It also is allergic. Its bite is very painful. In Endopterygota, all adults have wings, and these are never removed. In the life cycle, egg, larva, pupa, and adult, all these four stages are found, so it is complete or holometabolous life cycle. The common examples are honeybee, wasps, fruit fly, butterfly, house flies. There are two species of house fly, Musca domestica and Musca novelio. Mosquitoes, all genera: Culex, Anopheles, Mansonia, Aedes. Silk moth, Bombyx mori, Attacus ricini, Antheria mylitta, etc. Only I am showing the silk moth. It is the moth sitting on the cocoon, and its larva, it is also roaming over the surface of cocoon. So in spite of all these details, you know very little about arthropoda. Even myself know very little about arthropoda. But go on. You have to study long life, and I will be with you if I survive. It is very interesting to know about arthropoda. Thank you. Thank you very much.